Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of On Deck here on FTSN, our special World Baseball Classic preview. I'm really pumped to have uh, Alex from East 10th Street Boys joining us tonight, and then Sammy from Finn's TV. And I don't know all your shows you do on the network here, but I know you're on a lot. But when I went on one night, and then for some reason I was just like 9 o'clock at night. I hit up Bobby. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. I'm like, my man Sammy's from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
You correct me if I get it wrong. And, I know you live in Miami, Cuban descent. So I'm like, hey, I would love to get these two guys on. It'd be great. Just talk a little baseball. So I went a little nuts, and when I started this, I got like 20 pages, 15 pages of notes. Every time I was like, oh, I'm good. I got enough. I'm like, oh, I got some more information. But and I told both of you before, if you want to get something in, just tell, hey, Russ, shut up. Sometimes I think I know more baseball than I do. I do know a lot, but I ain't that smart. But so just tell me to shut up, because but I really want to thank both you guys for coming on. It's gonna be a fun one. I'm really looking for. I love this tournament. I love everything about it. See, I do have family. My brother-in-law, they're Argentinian, so they're huge soccer fans. Hate baseball, and they always shit talk baseball. I'm like, you don't realize, you go to Cuba, you go to Dominican Republic.
Yep.
Or now I'm seeing it was the Republic of Dominican.
República Dominicana, because it's Spanish. Yes.
I've been saying it wrong my whole life.
No, you're fine.
You go to Venezuela. I'm like, baseball is the number one sport.
Yeah.
You go to Puerto Rico, baseball. Baseball. It's like, you want to see baseball at its finest.
Yeah.
Go to this tournament. So I'm going, but I really want to thank both you guys for coming, and Sammy, and then I'm going to get to you, Alex. How we doing tonight? Thank you again for coming on.
Absolutely. Baseball fever is always when the classic is here. Every single nation in Miami, is great in Miami. Usually Puerto Rico plays in Miami. We're hosting one of the regions right now in Puerto Rico, so we are very excited. Puerto Rico San Juan has put a lot of effort into rebuilding the stadium and trying to make the best experience possible. They redecorated the stadium today. It was a festive atmosphere, so we're ready. Hopefully we can play some baseball after all the difficulties with the insurance and stuff, and we'll find a way for Puerto Rico to have a nice show.
Yeah, it's definitely. I know. Watching, was it last time in 2006 they had it? I was like, I want to go. This atmosphere is unbelievable.
Yes.
And obviously the baseball is part next to none, but just the atmosphere. But with all the insurance that the players have, we'll see how they do. I think with Puerto Rico, we'll definitely get to see the next up and coming, because young players, they're starting to get a little older. So I think with some of these players, I got some players that I've circled. I'm like, these could be the next future guys that we could see. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad he's back in Puerto Rico, and got to see it today when it was in Dominican Republic. The last 2 days when they had the expedition games, and it's just it's amazing. And both those islands, they don't get to see professional players come out there and play on a regular basis like we do, so it's great for them. But hopefully there's it's great for the island. I do have a special place in my heart for Puerto Rico, and I'll get into that later. But Alex, how we doing tonight? Thank you for coming on.
Oh man, I'm doing great. And when you invited me, please, it's an honor to be a guest on this, because out of all the sports, baseball is really like a historian sport. So there's nothing better than when you can actually talk baseball with somebody that knows the history of baseball. So please, you will not bore us today. I promise you, man. And as a Cuban here, obviously growing up, I was born and raised here in Hialeah, Florida. But obviously in your bloodline, there's always the first thing you pick up is a baseball. That is, your uncle or your grandfather's going to give you a glove. You got a bat and you got a baseball. And for some countries like Dominican Republic, it is your number one business, is your number one export. So baseball is not only a pastime, is an actual way of making a living in other countries where you predominantly they produce the most baseball players per capita in the world. So this is to me the great thing about this. When you ask me to come here, it's a unity, especially in the world we live in right now. It's a unifying thing where sports obviously unify a lot of things, but is the top of the top, at least the majority of the top from a lot of these countries. So I'm just excited to talk about it, man. Thank you for having me.
Lou from was it Date? I'll be in my. It was a funny story. I first started on the network. I just moved to Florida. Like I've been there for the summer. We did a college football podcast, and we were just doing Spotify with Justin Garfield.
Yes.
And then he goes, "Oh, I know this guy, Bobby Finstock. We're gonna go on his network, Finstock Network. It's hilarious. I'm a Jets fan, so it's kind of funny."
Which we forgive you. We forgive you. Not everybody's perfect, man. Nobody's perfect.
You
might get Tua. You might get Tua. We might just give him to you.
It's kind of, Bobby freaked out. He was like, "Why do I have a Jets?" I'm like, "I don't care." I'm like, "It's just sports. Fun. I don't like the Dolphins. You don't like the Jets. It doesn't mean I don't like you as a person." But so I just moved to Florida. He goes, "Oh, I live in Franklin, Tennessee." I'm like, "I just moved from Nashville." And then I'm going to Miami for the game on the 6th. Bobby's like, "I'm leaving Miami on the 3rd."
It's just destiny.
Time.
It's just destiny.
Yeah. But I'm glad.
I will receive you here. I will receive you with a warm embrace here in Miami.
But I'm stoked. I love this. This is our Olympics because they took it out for a while. It's our 4 nations for baseball. It's definitely great to see, some of those smaller countries, like are starting to give it, like Colombia, Nicaragua, Panama, who has some, Rod Carew and Mariano Rivera, some great players, as so it's great. But right when we jump in, right, Pool B, obviously we got to go with Pool B because we are a U.S. We're USA based, so we got to go first.
Of course.
But definitely, we got Pool B. We got USA, Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil. So I mean, on my end, I mean, my bad. I had too many notes up. Yeah. So hosting in Houston, Texas. Definitely, in my opinion, this is a 2-team race. Maybe I see Italy might make a little noise. A lot of, younger MLB players who definitely one guy I'm liked since college is Jack Caglione from University of Florida. But I mean, with the powerhouse USA has, I see it as a 2-team race. In my opinion, Mexico at a hell of a 2023 World Baseball Classic. I think they came down on the pitching a little bit this year, but I mean, before I get in, I'm gonna go to Alex first. What are your thoughts of Pool B with the USA's bracket and Mexico? Is there any thoughts when you initially look at Pool B minus the massive roster USA is assembled here on our redemption tour?
That is the gravitating part about this is that the US is stacked, and the coaching staff is in place to be successful. But when I look at the pool, you try to, like, in these moments, you try to think of like maybe like a flashy player. So obviously Great Britain has Jazz Chisholm, and that's a personal thing for me. I love Jazz, so I think he's going to stand out in that pool play. But when you get down to it, like you mentioned, that is a 2-team race. Now Italy has a good staff as well, even with the Drew crew, with Jukulis is their hitting coach, I think, or the bench coach. So there's possibilities there for them to have some surprise games here and there. They might steal one or there, but it's gonna come down to US and Mexico. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form that those other teams are there gonna be some close games, some exciting games. Yes. Is somebody gonna stick out? Maybe. From Brazil, Brazil, didn't he just get suspended? Oh my God, how do you say his name?
No, that's Netherlands.
Netherlands, sorry. I got him confused. All right. Brazil, who's in Brazil's that he used to play?
Well,
His
they
current
have Dante Bichette, who is Bo Bichette
junior.
Senior.
Yes, yes,
Bo Bichette Senior,
yes.
and Bo Bichette's brother,
Yeah,
who got drafted by the Yankees. They also have Manny Ramirez's son, who's playing for
yes.
Jacksonville.
Which is how is that? Is his mom Brazilian, or how are we deriving citizenship for these things? I want to know that because I remember when A-Rod played for USA, played for Dominican Republic. Like, how does that work? What isn't when you play one competition, Russ, that you have to align and stay with that team?
No, because we have it right now.
No.
Nolan Arenado is his
But,
mother's Puerto Rican, and
Oh
he's playing for
shit.
Team Puerto Rico, and he played for the
Yes.
2017
Yes.
USA
USA.
championship team. So,
Wow.
and you have Austin Wells, who's playing for the Dominican Republic.
Which is
Which the amount of stuff you see, like you go to Instagram or you go to Facebook and you click on like the jokes of Austin Wells every time I'm like, how's it going, guys? And
yeah.
and there now, like, he's speaking to the team. Everything's
Plantain power.
yeah, but I don't know how that works. I think Manny Ramirez's wife is Brazilian descent. I really don't know how
Okay.
that works because you definitely see with like Team Panama has
Yes.
players from Colombia. You have Colombian guys who are from Team Panama, and Nicaragua have guys from other areas, and
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Arosarena with Mexico, which is for the stash. That's from representing Team Mexico. It's insane.
I think he has Mexican citizenship now.
He has Mexican. Okay.
So because he considers Mexico his home for taking
His
America.
of course.
But
Yeah. To summarize for me, it's USA and Mexico, with obviously USA taking the top.
Yeah. Sammy, you got any opinions on Pool B?
Yes, it's kind of weird that the Major League Baseball with all the popularity that right now might be going to the lockout, because I think this is the most exciting parts of Europe have been for playing the World Baseball Classic. We do the research, and as I started looking, I see people in Great Britain and Italy be kind of excited because the showing they had last time, they think they can do much better this time. So it's kind of weird. Hopefully, they can find a way to it doesn't kill the sport internationally, because that kind of thing happens. It's kind of weird. So, but it's Brazil. I don't know too much about, but it's a two-horse race, right? Because the USA team, the issue with the USA team, they always had a great lineup. That the pitching is the kind of thing that usually is kind of weird. But they have two Cy Young Award winners. I think that they examined the roster. So there's the pitching, but probably one of the best lineups ever for the history of USA. When you look at just with Aaron Judge batting, you have a strong lineup. So it probably USA team pool to be. Mexico, of course, always good showing, but I don't think that when you spread around for that pool is such tight. I think Mexico, USA should run away with it, especially the United States. I think the United States, I don't know, make sure they want to redeem themselves, and the pitching is going to be the question, because in that kind of series, usually the hitting is the one. When we talk about the Dominican Republic, that's going to be probably the problem. Ultimately, the problem, because when you have so much hitting, that kind of game, international game is kind of an exhibition game. But the pitching is kind of sucks for every single time, so you need a lot of power. So, but I think the best lineup for the whole group is in the United States, followed by Mexico. No, in a not so close second. So you should run away with it for sure.
I agree. I'm not used to everybody chiming in, so I want to thank everybody who chimed in. Dominican, Republic, definitely get on it in a little bit when we hit Pool D. Definitely, that's going to be a very exciting pool down there because Dominican, Netherlands, which if you didn't know, that's basically all guys from Curacao and Aruba, because there's so much baseball in the Netherlands. And Venezuela, it's going to be a great bracket down there. I think we're all kind of confused with Austin Wells. I don't. But and I think I agree. I mean, USA, the one downside is Tarek Skubal's only pitching one game. It was if he's not the best pitcher in baseball, he is the best pitcher. He is the second best pitcher. I still think I want to see another full year of Paul Skeens. And he's only pitching against Great Britain, which I wish he would have saved it for for a quarterfinal or something
Yeah.
like that, you know. But I think that has something to do with he's in a contract year on the lockout. Praying it doesn't happen. You know, I'm really I think it's going to happen, and I'm a diehard Yankees fan, and I have a lot of, you know, I'm from Los Angeles. My dad is from New York, so I never liked any team on the West Coast, and I get a lot of Dodger fans. Oh, the Yankees spent a lot of money. I'm like, well, yes, we did, we did, but if you look at how the Yankees were built, our core four, you know, from '96 on, it was built around 5 homegrown players. Now, the reason the Dodgers can spend this so much money is because players deferred money. Now, that's where I'm like, if they got to get a hold on.
Yeah, and their TV contracts.
Deferring, yeah, the TV contracts are crap, and they're getting worse and worse.
Which, don't let me forget, Russ, we cannot leave. I really want to ask your opinion out of everybody here, because I talked to some of my friends, but I've talked a lot about obviously off the record, about the possible baseball lockout and the salary floor and the salary cap. So do not let me forget. I don't want to interrupt where we're going with this flow, but before you leave, before you kick me out of here, please remind me so we can talk about this, because I'm intrigued to see your response.
Yeah, definitely. I lost my train of thought there, but
oh shit, I'm sorry.
I really hope it doesn't happen. If you watch the World Series this year, the amount of numbers baseball is hitting with the amount of views, it's really starting to go. I was not a fan of the pitch clock at one point. I really do enjoy it now. I think it's great. I'm not a fan of ABS. I'm of the opinion umpires, referees, they're part of the game. They're human. They mess up. And I think the more we start putting in computers and second guessing, it's worse. I know my man Alex is a basketball guy.
You know what got them? You know what got them, Russ? The gambling. When you start messing with gambling and human error, that's a big. They're like, nah,
I think I think NBA has gotten worse and worse to watch because everything is this.
Yes.
So I'm fine with that. The world's. That's why I don't want to lock out. I mean, they had, you know, from the Caribbean to the United States to Japan and Canada. It was the amount of numbers. So I mean, I really think it's going to happen. And if you've seen when this happened, it's not good. But the buzz baseball is getting, what we're going to see from this tournament is great. But I mean, yeah. So on the U.S. side, Tarek School was only thrown 1 game. Luckily, Paul Skeens said he's going to throw 2, which I did get to scout Paul Skeens in high school. An amazing. I met him at 17. An amazing human being, and I did not think I was talking to a guy going into a senior year of high school. Polished. And if you know any of his background, he was going to the Air Force. He wanted to be a fighter pilot. I mean, the guy wanted to serve. So he was polished. He was great. Luckily, you know, Rookie of the Year, Cy Young, he will throw 2 games. They've lined it up. If they get there, which all planning they should, he would pitch against Mexico and then in the semifinals, which would be great. And then, I mean, you did lose Joe Ryan, who had to drop out, and have Nolan McLean, but he might only pitch 1 game. Logan Webb's going to pitch 2. But the lineup, and if you watched any of the exhibition game yesterday, is stacked. And I mean, obviously, it starts, you know, right off the bat. You get hit with Harper, you get hit with Bobby Witt, who's probably the best shortstop in baseball, and then you get Aaron Judge. I'm really looking at the outfield there where it's going to get interesting, which, yes, Judge is entrenched in right field. He's not going anywhere. But then you got 2 of the best center fielders in baseball with Pete Crow Armstrong and Brian Buxton. And then you add Miami local Roman Anthony from Stoneman Douglas High School, who got the late ad, had a massive home run yesterday. And even on their bench, I mean, you got Alex Bregman, dynamic third baseman, Gold Glover, Gunnar Henderson, great left-hander, Bryce Strang, strong defender. Cal Raleigh was just off a 60 home run year, breaking the record for a catcher. Then you add on the bench Will Smith, who could still be one of the better catchers in baseball. And their bullpen, David Bendar, Griffin Jacks, and then you add Mason Miller, who throws triple digits, who's insane. But I really think it's the watching. You watched last time. You watched the hockey, the Four Nations. Now you watch the Olympics. I think it's really a redemption tour for USA. We're as great as this is our sport. We got to come out and show out. We can't just keep on. I mean, I've been watching highlights from like 06 and 09. I'm like, yeah, we had some good players, but I'm like, this is what we're throwing out. I mean, we can't let Japan come in and take it the whole time. And it was great. And don't get me wrong, that final was unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
It was unbelievable, and it was great to see. I know people said I heard from my former co-host, Rob used to do this with me. He's like, oh, I got tickets real cheap because all the Caribbean teams were out for the finals. But I think it's our redemption tour this year, and I'm with you. World Series was one of the best all time. Bobby Bonilla Day. That's got to be coming up sometime in the summer. Gotta love it. But I'm looking forward to it. I think Pool B is a 2-team race in my opinion. I'm excited. Baseball is back in some sense right now. If you didn't notice, I think we're getting a little like taste of October here, in March. Whereas spring training is good for about 4 innings, and then everybody starts sitting out. But I mean, it's great to see. I think I've said it's a 2-team race. You got Randy Arozarena in Mexico, Alejandro Kirk. If it's kind of funny when we did the World Series and Evan Finn Stanza was on with me. He's a Blue Jays fan has to be. He's from Canada. He goes, well, Alejandro Kirk. He's like, watch this guy. He's 5'8". He waddles like a duck. But he's like a bowling ball. But unbelievable defensive catcher.
When I was actually went to a Marlins game that we were playing the Blue Jays, and when I saw him kneel down behind the home plate, I'm like, that's their catcher? And I'm like, that's the most athletic ball I've ever seen in my life. Because he just walks up there. He looks like a catcher from a movie, like legit catcher from a movie. And he can ball out.
But it's like it's my thing. Other people go to those. If they look at some of these baseball players, you're he's not athletic. He's fat. I'm like, just go watch it. Well, go watch this guy does. He's like a bowling ball.
Yeah.
But you see him get behind the plate, and he is so quick and so smooth. I think one, and especially in this pool where USA separates herself, and I know Sammy touched on it, is the pitching. I think even though Mexico's got a solid lineup, you
the bullpen, yes, also.
Say that again.
I think that basically bullpen apparently is stronger than ever. I think it's one of those stronger bullpen than Mexico.
Yeah, the bullpen. I think that the bullpen. It's Mexico's got a strong lineup. With obviously Randy Arozarena, you add Jared Duran, Joey Ortiz, Jonathan Arando's here. Actually, I live in Bradenton, which is Tampa, I guess, kind of suburb. So Jonathan Aranda, the first baseman, plays for the Rays, which hopefully they get the new stadium going because Tropicana Field is the worst stadium in all of Major League Baseball.
Hey, but that stadium, the new renderings for that new stadium and that whole area around it, which a lot of teams are doing, that looks really nice, man. Have you seen the renderings for the Rays Park?
Yeah.
Oof, that looks beautiful.
They're going to be right there around Raymond James and then Steinbrenner, and then which would be great because if you've been to a Rays game, it's in the middle of effing nowhere. It's and there's no energy in the stadium whatsoever. But I think that in that bracket, in my opinion, Italy's probably the only team that could make a little noise because of what they have, but they have a lot of young players. I don't see anybody else. Mexico. The only thing downside with Mexico, they're starters. You have Jose Arcady, who's established guy, but he hasn't pitched in a while. You got Taiwan Walker, solid veteran, but he's nothing much. Jared Assad, but he was with the Cubs. He was hurt, versatile righty, could be a hybrid guy. The one thing they got is Andre Munoz, who was the best closer in baseball last year. Big innings guy, strikeout capability, top high leverage guy, elite velocity and strikeouts. But I think where most teams will separate themselves this week is their in this tournament is their pitching and what they can do, especially in the bullpen. We'll separate the men from the boys. But I think I'm talking a lot here. I'm sorry. I'm just getting a little excited.
Hey, I'm telling you that what you just had right there was a legit scouting report. You can tell it comes from within, man. It comes from within.
I mean, I think Italy will be a team to watch. I think they only have one Italian-born player on the team, but they do have some baseball starting to get a little bigger in Europe. But I mean, you got Vinny Pasquantino, power bat. He's definitely. I mean, Jack Caglione's a young guy you gotta watch. I think once he figures it out, I remember watching him in college because I'm not like I love college baseball with all my heart. I saw him put a 400-foot home run in right field his junior year. Is a guy, Jacob Marcy from the Marlins, who's an unbelievable defensive center fielder.
We need to sign him to an extension.
Who Alex probably got to see if he got out there, because he was definitely killed me because he came right up. He got called up right with the Yankees and when he played the Yankees and had a massive series. Yeah. But I think that's a team to watch in the future. I mean, Thomas Sajaci, got to see him. He is from San Diego, California. Got to scout him, but only once. But I mean, you do have Aaron Nola, Mike Lorenzen, and then the one Italian-born player is Sam I can't even get his last name right. Alredi, but he's the one Italian-born player on that team. But I think, in my opinion, it's a two-team race. I think if USA definitely will take this bracket, and then I would have Mexico coming in second. But any other thoughts or comments you want to throw in on Pool B? Whoever wants it can jump in. And I know I talked for a long time, and I apologize.
Hey, no need to apologize. You summed it up. Trust me, way better than Sammy and I could ever come up with. So I think we all concur. It's gonna be USA and it's gonna be Mexico, and then everybody else.
Everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge Nike guy. Can we get Nike out of baseball?
Oh my God! With jerseys,
crap jerseys.
It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. Some of the materials they put out there and the design. I'm like, we used to have awesome jerseys.
We'll get into that. The all red was sweet.
Oof. Oh, Cuba one?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, that one was good. That was good.
I think Sammy, any last thoughts about Pool B before we move on?
Actually, the winner of Pool B, the winner of Pool B was Canada, because Canada was usually stuck in that pool, and that pool they moved to my pool, so those are the winners, because if they were that pool, they had no chance. So Canada won that.
Canada would have stayed away from Mexico. We probably again.
Every single time, yes.
I was on a bus that brawl was happening, going to Minneapolis to play in the Metrodome the last year with a bunch of Canadians, and we're all on our phone watching it, like, drop the gloves, let's go. But I think for Alex and Sammy going into we're Pool A here in San Juan. Which I know you're from Puerto Rico. I don't know. You are in San Juan, Sammy?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
4 miles away from Iran Bison Stadium where they play. Basically, I could walk if I wanted to, but I won't.
I will say I've been to Puerto Rico. You have I thought Florida drivers were crazy. You have some of the craziest drivers I've scared out of my mind.
Listen, if you have keys and you know how to honk the you get a driver's license. That's good enough.
I was driving there. The guy I was in a school bus going to bed, and the guy is just like, vroom, vroom. I'm like, geez, man, can we slow down a little bit?
Hey, Sammy, have you ever been to DR, Sammy?
Yes,
you have.
Yes.
Does the driving compare to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, if you ask me, those are crazier.
Those are crazier, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, if you ask me, yes.
DR is insane, Russ, because in DR, if you see a green light, you stop. Like you stop on green lights because you're letting the guy blowing his red light take it.
I got a problem age myself, but when I was young, they used to sell those Garfield plushes that you stuck to the window.
Yes.
Yeah, those. So basically, in DR, if you're driving, you're gonna be stuck to the window every single time.
Because all you're doing is boom, 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 and beep, 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 and I'm telling you, that's like it. Like the blinker is just a courtesy to let you know I already cut you off. Like once, that's it.
They have a blinker.
Yeah. Most of it's defective. And what's crazy is you got people in little scooters just flying right by you.
Oh yes.
Woo, woo, and they're just cutting you off, and you cannot go with your windows down.
And the
you got to roll those windows up. Yep.
Well, going to Pool A, I will say.
People are beautiful and very nice, but just a notch above.
The driving was crazy, but I do love it. I will say, 2014, I can't believe for me it's been 11 years. Going on 12 in December. I was lucky enough to do. I do have I wore my old shirt, my mission trip shirt, and we taught baseball and the ladies taught volleyball in Maya West, Puerto Rico.
Wow.
So I will say I never wear another team's hat, and I root for my teams. But the one thing I will say, I will be Team USA all the time. I root for Puerto Rico because the amount of love I felt from those people, from everybody on the island, was great. It was just, it's in the middle, right after Christmas, and the people there just welcomed us in, treated us like family. I'm Catholic. I went to the cathedral in Maya West, and the bishop there spoke his homily half in Spanish, and then would walk all the way to the back and speak English to the 14 of us the whole time.
Wow, that's class right there.
So I mean, I will always just because of that, I have a special place in my heart, even though it is still the U.S. You are a U.S. territory, and I know it's not like traveling.
What?
Yeah,
they're U.S.
Yeah, yes, they are. But I know it's like, hey, you didn't travel. I didn't need a passport or anything. I will always love Puerto Rico. Just because of that, just because the amount of love that I felt from everybody there, and the amount of partying that was going on. It was a random Saturday, and there's just a massive, fiesta going on. I loved it, but I will always. It was not.
It was Christmas time. We had the longest Christmas in the whole world.
Yeah, I remember leaving it.
Yes.
We left on like the day after New Year's Day. And I'm talking to this one person I know. He's like, "Oh, it's the day off." I'm like, "You got another day off?"
It's a recovery day, man.
It's a holiday. We got to go out and have fun.
Yeah, you got to recover. It's a recovery holiday day.
But I think this is going to be an exciting bracket, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, you got Puerto Rico, you've got Cuba, who's definitely. I'm hoping in 2013 we could have some shifts with some players who could be able to be welcomed back that defected, and we don't have to get into that, but I'm really hoping that happens because there's a lot of great players from that island that aren't welcomed back right now because of the climate. So I'm hoping in 2013 we could see that. You definitely, I do agree. I think Canada definitely did get lucky getting away from USA and Mexico because of what had happened with insurance. It could have been a different ball game if that didn't happen. I think Colombia should be able to be a little competitive, but they are a couple years away. And Panama, sorry, you do have my shortstop, but I mean, I'm sorry, but going to you, both you guys. This is your pool. I'm gonna go to Sammy, then Alex. Sammy, you're there in San Juan, so you know how it feels. How are you feeling going in with all the players that had to drop out, but you're still feeling pretty good about your outlook?
It's been frustrating. We're here. There was a lot of I don't want to say people were angry. They were angry, with the situation because Puerto Rico, San Juan in particular, has put a lot into with Major League Baseball. They asked for a lot for the renovations in the stadium. They asked for a lot for us to host in San Juan. So when that happens, and how you had over $40 million invested in the stadium and other things, the tourism, everything. When you invest so much into the World Baseball Classic, and then that happens. And you lose Lindor, you lose Correa, you probably would have lost more if the people over here and the governor and the mayor outright and saying they should need to do something, and the league basically say if you don't do anything we're gonna cancel, we're out. That would have happened. We would have been out in San Juan if they didn't do something. So we kind of compromised. We still lost Correa, we still lost Lindor, but this. I think should be enough to win the pool. I think, of course, now we have the problem of Canada having Canada on this pool. And, of course, Cuba always, have such a passion for baseball. They always play hard. Canada now here. Panama, it used to be better days for the Panamanian team, in the 80s, in the 90s. Colombia, I think, probably is the weakest team of the pool. Canada, Cuba, and Puerto Rico should be, playing for the first place. I don't think Puerto Rico will run away with it the way they would have if Lindor and Correa would have played. So it's not a lock. I still think they're the favorites. I'm trying to be impartial. I think still they're the favorites, but they would have been a much better team if Correa and Lindor would have played. So it's frustrating because they should have a chance to play.
Yeah, definitely. With Correa, he was still coming off surgery, so that was definitely a factor with that. With the Lindor situation. The amount of stories I've heard from why he didn't get insured were bizarre. Like he didn't something about his fashion line. They didn't like that. I'm like, the amount of stuff I read, I couldn't believe. But losing Lindor and Javi Baez, who are, obviously were a big part of that team that made it to the finals to lose to Dominican Republic. But you still have, some great players, and you still have some Hall of Famers sitting on the bench, obviously, with your manager, Yadier Molina, from a great baseball family with Benji and Jose. And, with Carlos Beltran, who's your general manager, who, in my opinion, he got the raw end of the stick and should get a shot to coach – managed in Major League Baseball, but
I think he will. Eventually he will.
But it's definitely going to be interesting. I think it's going to be the most hotly contested pool, in my opinion. Yes. With and not unfortunately because of that non-baseball factor has made it a little closer. But Alex, going in, we talked a little yesterday. How are we feeling about Pool A and just competition? How are you feeling about Cuba?
Well, in this, I share Sammy because, like I said, I was born and raised here. I'm proud to be an American and support my American team. But there's always something that within that I always pull for the Cuban national team. And I've always felt this, that if they would be allowed to compete internationally, the top of the top, Cuba would be in every World Baseball Classic. That's how much baseball means. That's how much baseball means in Cuba. And there's a lot of talent that is never seen because it's in the inside of the countries, in the deep of the jungles of Cuba, that there's talent there baseball wise. So I kind of feel the pain for Sammy because you did lose some of your top players, which is to me is idiotic because you even have Bad Bunny willing to pay the insurance for some of these people. So it's like those are the things that I don't get. You know, it's a and can we be realistic? Out of every international sport that you can compete for, baseball is probably one of the least that you can actually get hurt in, unless you're hit by a pitch or you're celebrating like Edwin Diaz and you tear like your ACL. Like, come on, like it's like I don't get it. Like you got basketball players competing, you got hockey players.
Just don't
competing.
celebrate. Don't celebrate. You should be fine.
Just don't celebrate. Just play. You know. But that goes against everything we are. That goes against our blood. But it is going to be a very competitive pool. I think out of all of them, it'll be the most competitive. So I do agree with you there, Russ. I got Puerto Rico taking it because even though they're young, they have a little bit of more of the experience and the talent is there. You can't deny it. It's young talent, but it's there. I got Cuba competing, but I would not be surprised if I think Canada will be their top two. But like you said, I will not discount Colombia. They have that possibility. I know we touched upon it a little bit yesterday. They have the possibility to upset a few of those matchups. I'm pulling for Cuba. I want to be in the top two. I want Puerto Rico and Cuba to come out of it. But Cuba, you got Yari Capre, which is a shortstop. He's in the Marlins organization. You're led by a 44-year-old shortstop, Alexei Ramirez. So there's things there. And also our big outfielder, I always forget his last name. That he's chubby, but he's a hell of a ball player. But he's old too. And I'm talking even before Omar Linares. There's a bunch of players there that you see them competing, but there is experience, and there is also that attitude of never giving up and playing hard, and that means a lot in baseball too, across all sports. But in baseball, there's that pride factor, that you want to play for something else. And obviously, there's always a possible defections, so you always got to keep your eyes open. But I think eventually it's going to be Puerto Rico and Canada. Well, I'm still pushing Cuba there to push through.
Yeah, the pitching of Canada should make the difference because basically the whole pool, pool A, I think Canada probably has the best pitching.
Yeah,
I'm on the opposite side. I don't think their pitching is all that great. I think their offense. I think their weak point for Canada is their pitching. Yeah, I mean Puerto Rico. You still got. Seth Lugo was very big. Getting in those finals that year. You still have Edwin Diaz, who did get insured after everything. Kind of bizarre.
The one you should not insure.
I don't get it.
See, that's not this thing where you see something fishy. The one should not insure for anything after what happened. It's the one that gets insured.
Well, also Francisco Lindor misses like 4 games a year. I mean,
why didn't he get insured? Sammy, what's the real explanation here? Sorry to interrupt you, Russ. What's the explanation you guys have been giving as Puerto Ricans? Like you're there.
I have no idea. We just don't get it. I'll be honest with you because it doesn't make sense because every single team goes through that. Why Puerto Rico? What's the difference? Because every single team has a lot of major league players and you see problems. So.
And who's the final decision maker there, Sammy? The league
or
the team?
They have an independent insurer, one insurer that they use.
Of course.
And they got like absolutely like hosed last year or the last tournament because if they get hurt in the World Baseball Classic, they have to pay for the duration. So with they had 3 players who got hurt or out for the year and they lost $150 million, had to pay their whole contract.
What was it? The same one they insured in India because that's probably it. They since we're paying for that, now we're gonna take that back.
Yeah, Cuban Tom Selleck there, Bobby's. Yeah, hey, Alex, I like the stash. Don't.
I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it.
Keep
it for a while.
It's giving me Bad Bunny vibes when you think about it.
Oh man, you see, I'm telling.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sorry. I know it's not the hot one. I'm more a Daddy Yankee guy than Bad Bunny, in my opinion.
Old school. That's okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I work at a school, so I mean, in Florida, obviously, we have a lot of diversity. So we have a lot of kids. They're like Bad Bunny. I'm like, yeah, it's fine if you like him. I like Daddy Yankee better than him. Like, please, can we listen to Bad Bunny sing without his background? And it's not the best.
Oh no,
he's an unbelievable entertainer. I'll give him that. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but look, I love Teo Calderon. I love Nicky Jams. Don Omar. There's talent. There's talent in Puerto Rico. I mean, if they all would have put together, they all could have paid for the insurance, right, Sammy? Like everybody wanted to take care of. They were going to do it.
The one thing I've learned is artists are, are great for promoting themselves, but they don't usually don't do that. They're about making money. They're about wasting, spending money and making money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, Puerto Rico, you still have Seth Lugo, who's going to give you meaningful innings. You'll get Jose Barrios if you make it to the quarterfinals. You got Elmer Rodriguez Cruz, who'll be a guy to watch. He's in the Yankees system right now, who definitely pitched pretty good today against the Twins, is another young guy to watch. Obviously, you have Edwin Diaz, one of the best closers in baseball. Fernando Cruz, effective big league arm, nasty off speed, nasty slider. If he can find the zone, it's good. But sometimes he can't find the zone. I mean, on the offensive side, obviously you add Nolan Arenado, who's 10-time All-Star, 3-time Gold Glover, and like all of us here, a little the flip flopping, but I'm fine with it if he wants to play. He's also old, so I don't know how he got insurance, but he did. He's a little up there in years. One guy
makes no sense, man. It makes no sense.
One guy I'm really excited to see on this Puerto Rico team is Edwin Arroyo. He's in the Mariners system, very young, projectable bat. Probably could start his second to short. Solid contact, good defense, energy up the middle. I think he's a guy, once he gets going, will be another guy to watch from Puerto Rico.
Edgar Martinez is there, so he's probably have an eye on him because
yeah, definitely.
For a while now.
I mean, you still have why can't I remember his name right now? Just who's celebrating every time he does something big right now. So he didn't get the memo about celebrating. What's the Braves lefty who was on the World Series team? I know you're a Braves fan, so
I should know this, but no one comes to mind. Strider?
No, I'm gonna pull it up right now.
No.
No. He's neither of those guys are from Puerto Rico.
Should be the Hooper, right?
Eddie Rosario.
Edwin was okay.
I mean, he's definitely getting up there, but he still gives Puerto Rico that solid spark. I mean, you still, in the outfield, Matthew Lugo, Will Castro, versatile utility guy, can play all three outfield spots, can play some second base too. Helio Ramirez, guy coming off back-to-back 20 home run seasons, gives him power. I know Bobby will like this. MJ Melendez, another guy, natural slugger, position flexibility. I mean, you got Martin Maldonado, can't really hit, but if we're talking about defensive catchers, the guy's an unbelievable defensive catcher and can call and catch a baseball game. But definitely a little downside. Hopefully they can overcome it. On the Cuban side, I do think it's going to be a 3-team race in my opinion here with Canada, with Cuba and Puerto Rico. The shortstop Alexi Ramirez, who is 44, who was originally on that Cuba, who has been retired for a long time. I'm pretty sure he played in 2006. But I mean, you still got some solid players who play in the MPB that is not to the level of Major League Baseball. It's right there. You've got Livan Molina, one of the most accomplished pitchers on the team, definitely, dominant in the MPB, will be the anchor of that staff. Radiel Martinez, reliable late inning guy. Yarel Rodriguez, saw limited action, but he's an MLB guy. I'm I'm struggling with some of the first names, but Azel Rodriguez, another depth arm. I still think there's, even though they don't have the MLB talent because of circumstances, they still have good minor league talent and international talent on Cuba's side. Is there anything you would like to add on Cuba and on how we feeling in going in Puerto Rico? I sometimes I get going and I talk by myself so long, so I'm like I overdo my notes and I'm just like, and then I realize there's two other people here, so I'm like, oh, I can go to Alex and go to Sammy if I want to.
Hey, you're doing great, Russ. The only thing I'll add on the Cuban side, so Sammy can add anything on the Puerto Rican side. I do feel Cuba has a balance of not only pride, but also there is a balance of veteran and young players. So there's a semi leadership, their structure in the clubhouse. And that's very important. You know that, Russ, more than all of us. And obviously there's stability and say for the coaching staff because they've been there for a while. But there is that youth that is wanting to make a name for themselves. And these tournaments, these classics, there's always that young player that pops and that it becomes a name. And you said they're minor league players or they're international players. And there's always that possibility to be a little more. So I feel that also could drive it. Having the experience, and realistically, you got nothing to lose. You play to win. And for some of these guys, this is the best opportunity for international exposure. So I think that might be a key there in regards to the possibility of them advancing.
Yeah, I mean, definitely on the Cuba side, guys who are on the island, they can go to Japan and play there, but they're under supervision.
Yeah.
Or they have to take the 90-mile scary boat ride to Florida, which is a journey, a live or death journey. So this is definitely the one experience they'll get of getting to be able to seen by major league clubs and other teams in the MPB and stuff like that. And we have seen it in the past with Nicaragua, had a player who got signed out of the World Baseball Classic in 2023. But
yeah.
Sammy, any thoughts before we move to Canada on your feeling?
Puerto Rico basically, what I read, what I heard, is basically is going to try to use the strategy that worked for the Braves in 2021. They had to shorten the game. If you had a good lead by the fifth inning, at least the bullpen should be able to save you. So they try to find a way to be very aggressive in the first 5 innings and see if you win it. Find a way to of course to try to win the game with the bullpen. The fact that it's in Puerto Rico usually always spreads with pride in Rubio, all that thing. But they play with pride. The atmosphere in Ramírez Stadium. Ramírez Stadium is not that huge stadium. It's a very compact stadium where basically all the bleachers are behind the plate. It's like a half moon kind of thing, right? So it's tight, it's loud. The players are gonna feel it. The silence is gonna be there, and that should be the home field advantage should play very, very well for Puerto Rico. So that probably, compared to other stadiums where you basically lose a lot of the noise and everything. Every single park of the Bow Baseball Classic, even Miami or whatever, usually you see the atmosphere, yes. But in Puerto Rico is closer because since it's been an island and the kind of the park, the stadium it is, you can feel the people, you can see everything shaking in the stadium. Yeah. So I expect this to be a very good field, home field advantage. So if the Puerto Rican team find a way to take the lead with that atmosphere, with the crowd behind them, with that bullpen, they should be able to win a lot of games if they're able to.
100%. It's definitely it's a different atmosphere. We'll definitely see it with was it Pool C with Japan? That's definitely getting kind of a home field advantage, especially for Puerto Rico, because it's right there in their ballpark. Yes, Miami is or Houston, it's great, but not everybody has lived there. Most of these guys are from the island, have families still living there. Maybe not in Nolan Arenado's case, but all those guys on Team Puerto Rico have family living there. So it's unbelievable that it's great that it's back there, just because watching baseball, the love of the game is there. I watching it when it was there before, I'm like, this is great. Bring it back. I would have loved to go. My brother-in-law's uncle's going, who has a place down there. Is from, I think he's from outside San Juan somewhere. He's like, oh, you should come. They sold out in like 3 hours. So that wasn't going to happen. But yeah, I would have loved to see, like a Yordan Alvarez be able to play for Cuba. But hopefully in 2030, because there's a lot of great players that they do have that, and hopefully for those young guys that something does happen so they can get a little more exposure, and it would be an easier path for them to get to Major League Baseball and the minor leagues, where they don't have to risk something to get here, like we've seen with some of these players in the past. But on the Team Canada side, I think this is their best chance to make it out of pool play. They have not made it out of pool play in the World Baseball Classic yet. I think you got a lot of good. Bobby's lucky. I'm not Hispanic, so my facial hair doesn't come in as quick as my two guys here on my right. I grew up with a bunch of my people at high school are Mexicans, so they by 15 they had full stash, full facial hair. So Bobby's lucky I don't have my stash going either right now. But hey, Alex, I love it. It's baseball. I love it. But I think this is the Team Canada's best chance. I mean, yes, you got Josh Naylor, all-star first baseman. He'll be the biggest bat. Edouard Julien, versatile MLB hitter.
Which I'm still mad that Josh Naylor was traded. He was a Marlin. That's a trade that we shouldn't have made.
Josh Naylor was a Padre.
Huh?
Josh Naylor was a Padre.
Yeah, but who? Wait, the first baseman, the lefty?
Naylor got drafted by the Padres.
But was it who was drafted by the Marlins that is Naylor?
Bo?
Oh, he was part of the Marlin organization. We acquired him?
It could have been Bo.
Bo Naylor?
Bo Naylor is his younger brother.
Whoa, now I'm confused. Hold on. Because I thought we had Josh Naylor. Oh, man. Sorry. Sorry to interrupt you, Russ. You keep going. You continue.
It's your show. You got Edouard Julien, versatile MLB guy. Will start at second base, but he does have a high strikeout rate. Otto Lopez starting at short. Dynamic defensive player. Good bat, but very good defensive player. Range up the middle. Plays down there in Miami for your team. Bo Naylor, nice defensive catcher, good offense behind the plate, representing Canada. That's Josh Naylor's brother. And but I think where Canada separates herself in this bracket is their outfield. You got Tyler O'Neill, 2-time Gold Glove outfielder, serious over the wall pop, genuine power potential in the middle of the lineup. You got Owen Casey, I don't know how to say his last name correctly. A young slugger looking to make his name for himself right after that trade to the Marlins. So he's definitely going to be a guy to watch. I mean, can drive the ball to all fields. And to mention, a lot of these, if you've looked at the World Baseball Classic in the past, a lot of the guys who play in the World Baseball Classic go on to have hotter starts in Major League Baseball because they're playing meaningful games too.
Russ, I got it here, man. And we drafted Josh Naylor.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and we traded him to the Padres. You know who we traded him with? We traded him with Luis Castillo, the pitcher. Okay. We traded those our two top prospects. And you know who we acquired? Andrew Kashner and Colin Rea. 2016. That a very lopsided trade.
Yeah, I mean that's a Marlins trade for you.
Not anymore. We've corrected our ways. Russ.
Not anymore. I mean, that's a guy I know. When they made that trade, and Alex, you jumped in. I think that's that outfield the Marlins have is going to be really good if they lock them up.
Yes.
Cassie, with Marcy, with Kyle Stowers. If you lock them up and keep them there, that's going to be a very good outfield. Obviously, not to mention Griffin Conine too.
Yeah. Well, he might play first base a little bit. He might DH, but Kona has a cannon too. But I want to lock him up early. If we could come to an agreement and we could buy out those arbitration years and give them a nice little extension, man, the fan base here in Miami, and Russ, you'll see the stadium when you come here to Miami where it's located, and it makes no sense that there's no fan support aside from the fact that the organization has done many things over the years in fire sales and bad management to destroy that. But this with Peter Bendix and Bruce Sherman's, and he's starting little by little, there seems to be a willing part that we're going to be competitive for a good amount of time. Kind of like the Panthers formula here. So
the only thing I'll say is you did make a good trading Giancarlo Stanton, formerly known as Mike, because his contract is a hamstring.
Yep.
Not to mention he hurts his hamstring a lot, but
constantly, man. And we're still paying. I think we're still paying partial salary, I think, for a few more years, or it's almost off the books. I got to see.
He's off in a year or two.
Oof.
For the Yankees too, because they're paying him a lot, and he's only there half the time. But in the center field, they'll probably have one of the better. We got some great defensive center fielders here. Denzel Clark, guy can climb the wall, super athletic. I mean, if you've ever seen this guy, he's actually climbed the wall to make catches. But I think where it separates Canada is their starting pitching. I mean, Jameis Tyone will anchor the rotation. Has some command, good experience at fish and pitch count, but I don't see much out of him. Cal Quantrill, versatile arm. He's got some big league experience. And Mike Soroka, MLB starter. Well, reliever, starter turned reliever, will start. He will induce weak contact. He is a ground ball pitcher. But on the Canada side, obviously the big one you lose Freddie Freeman. Will not be there because he wants to spend time with his family. Strengths for Canada is, in my opinion, the offense. I mean, it's offensive firepower. It's for Canada. It's will the offense overcome? In my opinion, is different to overcome their pitching. I think they don't have the elite frontline arms, and the bullpen's not that strong. In my opinion, but I mean, going in, I know we've hit on this pool, but I think it's going to be a very exciting pool. I deleted my. I still have. I got my Columbia notes, but not much there. But I will say there's. I think Edwin. I said Edwin Arroyo was with the Mariners. I think he's with the Reds. Michael Arroyo is a name I want to watch. He's with Columbia right now. He's with the Mariners. Is a guy, but I'm with both you guys. I think it's gonna be a 3-horse race here. I don't think Panama has the firepower to get it done, or Colombia. But any last thoughts you want to bring up about Pool A?
Basically, Puerto Rico should win I'm sorry. Puerto Rico should win the pool. Canada and Cuba should fight for the second place. Cuba's a wild card because usually they have a very good performance and a so-so performance. If the Cuban team suddenly comes to Puerto Rico and surprise everybody, it will not be a shocker because they've done that before. But Canada should be the favorite to be the second place. I still think Puerto Rico, even with the bad luck they have with the insurance and everything, should win.
Yeah. I think they have enough good players, and just the atmosphere of having home field advantage is definitely going to lift Puerto Rico to taking that, and the experience they have on the bench with obviously Yadier Molina. You have Juan Gonzalez. You have Edgar Martinez. You got
a hell of a staff, man.
You got Sandy Alomar Jr.
Oof.
I mean, you got Joey Cora. I mean, their staff is loaded with MLB Hall of Famers that have massive MLB and international experience that I think will be able to lift Puerto Rico, even with players that they lost to winning Pool A. But Alex, to wrap us up, you got any last thoughts on this pool? I know where your heart lies, but
You know where my heart lies, man, and I still think it's going to be Puerto Rico and Canada. But I do hope, because what Sammy said is very true. Cuba usually always has an amazing performance, and then they have a debacle somewhere somehow. So I'm hoping if they could pull through and get into competition, I will find a way. If they can make it to the final round, I will find a way, because the finals will be here in Lone Depot Park in Miami. I will go to the game. I will find a way to go to the game if there's any player left on the field, because by the time they get here, they might have defected. But I will get there. I will go watch Cuba play. I've never been able to watch Cuba play. I've gone to Cuba and I've watched over there. Their most famous team is Industriales, which is like in the city in La Habana. So I've been to their stadium over there, and it kind of you feel, obviously it's a Latin America stadium, so you feel exactly what Sammy was describing in Puerto Rico. And obviously when you go to DR, it's a whole different ball game as well. That they go ape shit over there. So you exactly see everything. Stay classy, Miami. I like
Bobby's
this.
just coming in with the fingers tonight. He's not letting you. He's not like giving you any time off.
Yeah, yeah. I got the I'm like Nino Montoya. I got the porn stash cartel leader. He has all of them. Cuban Tom Selleck. I'm liking it. I'm gonna keep the stash. It's gonna be a staple of mine from now on. I'm never gonna shave this again.
I love it. I'm gonna get my going, but it'll come here. So hopefully it'll be a little something by the time I get out there.
Hey, when you get to Miami, you just keep the stash so we could
Oh,
we could go
yeah,
out
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah, perfect. The Stash Brothers. We gotta make shirts.
I went a long time thinking I could never pull it off, and then one day I just did. I was like, "Oh, you can pull that off." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay."
It's cool, man. It's cool. It feels refreshing. It's funny because all of a sudden you have a full beard, right? You're cool, right? You can shave everything off. You look super young. But when you leave a stash, all of a sudden you're like, guy's older is weird. Like he's a pedophile. What's going on here? Why does this guy have a stash? Why is he staring at me? It's like when you have a stash, you really know how people think about you. It's like, whoa, this guy. Watch what that. I guarantee you, man. Sammy, I guarantee you right now. You shave and just leave a mustache. Everybody that walks on the street next to you, you're like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Who the hell's this guy? Samuel.
Sombrero.
You're no longer Sammy. Samuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, I'm with you. I'd like to get to Cuba if it's ever possible to me because of baseball history. If it ever happens, I would love to get there. Dominican would be the same thing because of all the history for baseball.
Oh man,
that's two stuff. But I mean, obviously, I don't want to go right now.
No, yeah.
It won't be happening. But one of these days, I'm hoping it will. But I think it's going to be Puerto. I'm with both of you. I think it'll be Puerto Rico and Canada. I think Cuba will. They'll play hard. I just don't know if they have the players to get it done this year. I also am with Alex. I don't think the Cuba hats match the jerseys they put out. I think that Cuba's got some of the sickest WBC hats. But their jerseys, the all red with the little white arms, way better. Now the ones they're putting out, I'm like, no.
That was a staple, man. Those red jerseys were a staple. They will come on in the all red. And obviously, I've watched when I went to see the Savannah Bananas. They were all yellow. I'm like, holy shit! It's like the whole Cuban one. And I like even the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have their all blue one. So I like those jerseys like that. All color looks cool because it looks like it's international competition. Because baseball is always going to be either white or gray. And then obviously you can switch up. I even like that baseball now. A lot of teams are wearing like the secondary and the third jersey. Before you would never see that. It was only spring training. Now it's kind of acceptable. And I always remember because our Marlins run in 2003 when we won the World Series, we wore our black jerseys every game of the World Series, I believe. If there was maybe one that we didn't wear it. But I just love the multi aesthetics are a very important part of these games. And I really hope that they go back to the all red jersey, man.
Yeah, 100%. But I think I just don't think they're going to have it this year with the players. I
No.
think they're going to play really tough, and it's just the experience that Puerto Rico's got on the staff
Yes.
is gonna get them there. And if Canada's pitching can hold up, I think they have enough offensive firepower to get it over, in my opinion. But going to Alex's backyard there, Pool D, which I'm going in, I thought it was going to be very good. Netherlands just did have a big hit with Jurickson Profar, who will be suspended for 162 games because of his second PED failed drug test. He did have 80 games last year. He had a career year in San Diego, then got popped. So maybe that's why he had a career year. And now he got 162. So if he gets one more, he will be suspended for life from baseball. Good thing for the Braves is they recoup his whole contract and they get an extra $3 million. You lose a player, but I guess they can go out and sign someone else because they don't have to pay him this year. And then they get $3 million of luxury cap relief on that side. But it will be a big hit for Netherlands, who has another Hall of Famer on that bench. But obviously we all know, it's going to be a tough bracket, but I think with that loss, Dominican Republic, what they're putting out right now with that MLB talent, all-stars left and right, and they're going to be coming out with vengeance because they failed to make the quarterfinals in 2023. You're managed by former big leaguer, future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols, who's, if he won't be, will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. The 1 through 6 slots here are nuts on this team with Tatis and Soto and Machado. You've got Juan Soto, one of the best hitters in the game, elite bat to ball skills. The plate discipline, the eye this guy has is amazing. But I think the one, and me being a Yankees fan, he sucks defensively. He's the worst defensive outfielder I've ever seen in my life. He is terrible. But Juan Soto, he's horrendous. But is bad to ball skills. But before I guess I get ahead of myself, what are your going into this bracket, Alex and then Sammy? What are your thoughts? Just first initial thoughts when they put out the bracket and now you see with all the rosters being put out of Pool D.
Of Pool B or
D.
Pool D? Pool D. Okay. First and foremost, out of all these, it's another, to me, two team bracket. Like there's no competition here, in my opinion. Like I said, I could be 100% wrong. There is no way that the Dominican Republic, even their pitching is not as strong as it should be. There is no way that lineup should have any problem whatsoever producing runs, because you can't pitch around them. You cannot pitch around that lineup. You legit have to pray to God that every pitch you make is someone now belted into upper deck somewhere. So they had the most balanced lineup. Venezuela also has a lot of experience, arguably probably one of the best hitters ever as your hitting coach, and Miguel Cabrera. So you have experience there. You have young prospect as well coming up. But to me, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is just a shoo-in. Like, you got Dominican Republic, Venezuela. It's not even going to be a struggle. Like, I don't see. Nicaragua is very young, in my opinion. I don't think they have the Netherlands. Like you said, there's nothing that jumps off the face of this earth in regards to talent wise, except oh my God, what was the name? You mentioned his name and I forgot it now.
Ronald Acuna.
Acuna, no, and is it Bichette or no? That's Brazil.
That's Brazil, yeah.
Brazil, yeah. Okay, Acuna. Aside from that, there's really nothing else in that lineup, and that even Israel. there's really nothing that jumps out to me. So I just think it's more of a formality, and you just have to play the pool games. And there's going to be Dominican Republic of Venezuela just walking into the seconds to the quarterfinals.
Sammy?
Look at this lineup. Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto, Vladimir Guerrero, Manny Machado, Julio Rodriguez.
And that's just the outfield. That's just the outfield.
Make it stop. This is why I'm not gonna hold my hand. It's gonna think it's gonna win. But look at the lineup. It's crazy. Venezuela. I'm a Rays fan. Acuna is my guy, but he's a great player, and they probably should play in second. Netherlands usually is a very disciplined team, yes, but Venezuela should find second. But the Platinum Power is really not an awesome lineup. There's no holes that lineup. I'm not saying the pitch is that great, but like I said, it's kind of an exhibition game series. So the hitting is key, and that lineup is flawless. Just the Dominican Republic is a tough out. We're lucky this year that they're playing the Puerto Rico like in old days, because I will take it any other than the one with Japan or the US. Those teams are usually the best. The Dominican Republic is either the best or is either running for being second and third best, because that line was flawless. So I don't want to talk too much about it, because it's pointless for now. Everybody knows the power that the Dominican Republic team has, but they should be overwhelming favorite, if you ask me, even with Venezuela, to win that pool, and probably the whole series, because that power is way too much.
I mean, yes, 1 through 9 is nasty. I mean, not to mention Soto, Machado. You got Vladimir Guerrero, who one of the best pure hitters in baseball, elite, powered all field, elite speed. I mean, great bat to ball skills, solid defender, great plate discipline. You got Kentel Marte, probably the best second baseman in baseball. Offensive second baseman. He gap to gap power. Machado is starting to come down, but he's still, great platinum level defender at third base. Shortstop, you got Jeremy Pena, who's, World Series MVP with the Astros. And then you got Geraldo Perdomo, strong defensive shortstop, improving bat. Junior Caminero, young lefty, probably will DH. But lineup flexibility. I mean, you got Carlos Santana, who can be a lefty off the bat. Catching, you got Austin Wells, will probably be the primary starter behind the plate. Calls an unbelievable game. You got Agustin Ramirez, who a lot of firepower off the bat with really solid pop as a rookie. Probably won't see much time behind the plate because his defense needs to improve, but the offensive firepower is there. But both you brought up the pitching, and it could be the bullpen you're bringing up. But this, in my opinion, this Dominican Republic starting pitching is going to be nasty. I mean, you got Christopher Sanchez, elite southpaw. He was top in 2025 in WHIP, ERA, and strikeouts. I mean, quality starts and innings. Then you got Sandy Alcantara, who, former Cy Young, induces weak contact, high effort, fastball, good change. Brian Balo, hard throwing, physical starter. He's capable of going deep in the games. And then you've got Luis Severino. I do like the bullpen too. Cameron Duvall is a shutdown guy with heavy shutdown stuff. Sir Anthony Dominguez, a multi-inning fastball pitcher to bridge the gap. Lefty Waldy Peralta will neutralize those tough guys. He can pitch to both sides. Gregory Soto is another solid southpaw that brings balance and a good matchup flexibility for this team. But it's definitely the lineup. One of the best lineups I've seen. If it's not USA, it's Dominican Republic. I think in my opinion, where it separates Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico is, do they play well together as a team? Because we've seen Dominican Republic have all-star teams, but they don't mesh together. Now, you've seen Puerto Rico has some unbelievable all-stars, but they mesh together very well. They play as a team. I think that's how are these superstars going to mesh and come together. Now, I think it's going to change because they got knocked out in pool play in 2023. I think they're going to be a little mad on that. But how are they going to mold and mesh together? In my opinion.
Well, I'm gonna add to this, and out of all the sports, like you said, because team sports are very difficult. That's why, and I always remember this: 2004, the USA basketball Olympic team was a huge disappointment, and that's when they restructured the whole organization, and you had to play tournaments together. So the one thing I do, and like Puerto Rico on the field, on the diamond, you can see their togetherness. I also think this Dominican team really likes each other. They really like one another, and you can see the way they have that brotherhood outside of the field, outside of the diamond. And it helps when you have not only Albert Pujols, Plácido Polanco, another baseball royalty in regards to experience. He's been through it all, so they have the structure in place now. What you hit on, Russ, about meshing together is also the egos. If everybody can put their egos, and all these alpha male athletes, if they can put their egos to the side when it comes to playing time, because that's one thing when you have depth that I have these guys play every day. So there's going to be moments that some of them might not be able. You're going to rotate smarter. You might have some pitch hitting situations, but some of them are going to have some rest day here or there because you can't play all of them at the same time, even in the outfield. I mean, they use DH, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. So at least you got an extra bat there. So there are things there that it will come down to playing time and how they mesh. But if they could all manage their egos, and I want to see how they respond if they're ever down in the game. That's to me the one thing, because all these lineups, like you say, USA, Dominican Republic, they all look sexy. But if you come across a pitcher that's on his game that day, and you're missing, and you have now a situation which are highly unlikely because there's no holes in those lineups, so it's very highly unlikely with what I'm saying. But there's still a scenario that it could happen. You know, I'll go on and bet my whole house that my whole life that USA and Dominican Republic will not be shut out. That I can say comfortably, but you never know. It's a crazy thing, bro. In professional sports, anything is possible any given moment.
Yeah.
Baseball, bats go cold every single year. The team that they expect to bump away, and they go cold. That
Yeah.
100%. But it is a short tournament. I mean, we only got 7 games, so we'll see how it goes. But it's definitely we'll see how some of these. I mean, most of these guys are the best player at their position, so we're going to see. Soto can't play every day, or Vladimir Guerrero can't play every day. And then you got Junior Camaneros, one of the better young players in the game. He's a third baseman. He's not starting over Manny Machado at third base. How are these ego comes into it? I think they might had a little ego check, not making the quarterfinal. That hey, we're a baseball powerhouse. We have to make it. We haven't seen them win. They won in 2017. But going into this team assumes to be winning every year. But on the Venezuela side, I mean, you have some solid offensive players. I think where their weakness for Venezuela is their pitching staff. But I mean, you got Ronald Acuna, premier offensive star, former MVP, dynamic leadoff hitter with power and speed. He'll set the tone, and we'll see what happens when they get back to Braves spring training. Who's going to be wearing whose jersey? Is it going to be Ozzie Albies or Ronald Acuna, because they got a little bet going? And they play right off the bat, which I'll be at that game on Friday at 12 p.m. I mean, you still got Will Abreu, consistent power hitter, good defender in left field. He brings balance there, good on-base percentage and gap power. You have Jackson Churio, young star outfielder with power and speed, key run production. I think that very solid outfielder core. I mean, you've got the man behind the dish is just a man who's always who might not even be around behind the dish is always fighting father time there in Salvador Perez. Excellent run producer, veteran clutch bat, and he was on the one remaining guy on the Royals World Series team. You got Willem Contreras, strong offensive catcher, can hit for power and average. It'll be interesting to see what manager Omar Lopez does with those two guys, because Salvador Perez is the captain. And kind of funny note, I don't know if you follow the Caribbean series, and obviously Venezuela had some reason they couldn't make it this year, but the manager who won the Caribbean series in Venezuela was managing Omar Lopez was managing Team Mexico, and then the manager was managing who was supposed to manage Venezuela was vice versa. So Omar Lopez thrown on the Mexico hat for the Caribbean series, and then switches it back. But I mean, on the outfield side, I think they're pretty solid. Defensive side, I think there's going to be a logjam. I mean, you got Malik Garcia. Strong gap power, speed element. He can play second or third. Guy who had a great year with the Royals. You have Luis Ariz, elite contact hitter, high on base percentage. He'll set the table at the top of the order. And I'm not comparing him at all. I'm just saying Luis Ariz is our version of Tony Gwynn now.
Yes.
I'm not saying he's Tony Gwynn, but we don't see too many guys in baseball nowadays who hit for contact. And it was a guy I've always wanted, because I do love those type of guys. And when the Marlins were shopping him, I wanted him on the Yankees, because I'm done with all the home run or bust. I'm like, just give me a freaking base knock. You got Eugenio Suarez, proven, home run guy, can play third base, DH, just came off a 50 home run year. Middle of the infielder, Gleyber Torres, not great second baseman, but he's got pop and run production potential. Proven run producer to all fields. You have Ezekiel Tovar, young shortstop, developing all-star game, high contact skills. You got Andres Jimenez, solid gap, but he's known more for his defense. A platinum gold glove winner, which is unbelievable defense. If you did watch him, the guy changed everything. You have Wilson Contreras, who can play first base or DH. But when you look at this roster, Alex, Sammy, is there anything that jumps out to you on the Venezuela roster that maybe they can steal Pool D from Dominican Republic?
Basically, that for I read when I did the research, the bullpen is supposed to be great, and of course, I love Royal Acuna. He's a unique player. The speed, the base running, the power, the agility. So and the passion. Acuna is sometimes he carries the Braves on his back. So that's the kind of player you want on your team. They can lead by example. They can lead by will. So when you have a player like Ronald Acuna, who I love as a Brave, so anything can happen. That's the guy that kind of guy you want in any sport. The guy has a lot to always has a lot to prove. Plays with a passion, plays hard. So when you have a Ronald Acuna, your team, anything can happen. So I'm not saying they can match with the power of the Dominican team, but they should have enough to finish the second to advance.
Yeah, 100%. Alex?
I'll add just one thing. Once again, the experience is very important. What you mentioned right there with Luis Arias, Ronald Acuna, you have experience there. It's not only about being a powerhouse, it's knowing how to play baseball the right way. So it's not always home run or bust, like you mentioned. So they do have, and they also have experience on the bench. Even with Miguel Cabrera, that's a great voice to have right there. And it's really cool to see what the players that we grew up watching now becoming managers. I've always felt, I'm pretty sure all older generations have gone through that as well, because out of all the sports, and I say this because obviously I'm a basketball guy, now there's a lot of ex-basketball players that are AAU coaches and even high school coaches and are kind of like taking over programs, football as well. But baseball to me is the number one sport in regards to players that actually were great becoming also great managers. You rarely see that in sports. Usually great players are not great managers or great coaches. And now you're kind of seeing that tradition continue. And I just think Venezuela has the experience. And like you said, the bullpen depth, that if the game is close, you can kind of count on them that they'll be competitive and they can surprise you with key clutch hitting. It's not going to be overpowering, but they're going to be in games. So Venezuela is one of those teams that could sneak their way into the finals by playing the right way. Highly unlikely, but it could happen.
Yeah. And definitely a game I would have loved to be at, Dominican Venezuela.
Oh, that is beyond berserks, man. That is insane.
I couldn't bring myself to spending, $350 to sit in the outfield.
No. It's crazy prices, man. Crazy prices.
I looked right off the bat. I'm like, stuff up, $380.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to drive 3.5 hours and spend $380.
It's like, nah, man. And you can watch from the comfort of your home.
So I'm going down for the Netherlands Venezuela game on Friday. I'm like, I don't want to drive back home after the game, and hotel prices are nuts. And even I was talking to Al, I'm like, luckily for me, I really don't care about staying in like Brickell or something like that. I don't need to be in the hot spots. I'm like, I'm a little older, on the older side. I'm like, I'd rather go to a place. Take me where the locals go. Take me to the good hole in the wall, Venezuelan or Cuban food or Dominican food, type of that. I don't need to be at the hot spot, where all the, plastics at.
Yeah, trust me, man.
I just hope that you will say hole in the wall. You mean the kitchen and the restaurant, not the hotel, because I don't recommend the hotel with the hole in the wall. I'm just saying.
Oh no, he's staying close to my house. Actually, that's what I told him. I'm like, me and Russ, we got a date night plan, man. It's a stash, bro.
Awesome. Yeah,
there we go. We got you, man. I got you.
You said that. I'm like, you were like, here's good, and I looked at all spots. I'm like, my dad's a Marriott member. He's like, he's like, your buddy said here, I can set you up with the Marriott. I'm like, all right. I feel comfortable. Like, instead of going like an Airbnb, I don't know the area.
Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah.
I mean,
you got to be very careful, because even where the ballpark is, you make 2 left turns, you're in deep shit. Like, do not go there alone. And they see you out of town. They see you walking in Miami in that area, and obviously it's a baseball tournament. So everybody that lives in that area is always on the lookout for cars that are parked anywhere, people that are walking alone. So once they see you there, I'm like, nah, man, they can't catch Russ alone there. So I'm like, if you're gonna walk, you call me. I'll walk with you, bro. And they'll respect the stashes. They'll respect.
That happened the first time I went to see a Dolphins game in Miami, like in 1998. When I went to the pass and I get to the hotel, I say, "You were walking?" And I'm like, "Yes, you should not walk with this." Whatever. That happens in Miami.
Where did you stay, Sammy? In the stadium hotel, the one closest stadium, or somewhere else?
They closed it. So I can't stay there anymore. But I used to stay I think it was I don't know if it was the Holiday Inn. The one was just in front of what is now the Miami Heat Arena. They used to have a very small, like 3-4 story building. Now that I rise, 40-story building, but there used to be a very nice hotel there, and free parking and everything. It was very nice. But you had the monorail, you could walk.
Yeah.
But I walked and said, you were walking over there at that time of night. You should not do that.
Yeah, because that. Especially when you go watch the Dolphins, that's Miami Gardens, so that's another little dangerous area at times.
I learned very quickly. But the first time I went to Miami Gardens, someone said, the driver said, they killed a guy there last night. I'm like, okay, well, point taken. I'm renting a car tomorrow. No problem.
And man, it's so cool when for example, we travel and, like, let's say we go to Philadelphia, anywhere, and you have all the major sports have their arenas in the same area. I think that is amazing. And we went from having the renderings for the Marlins ballpark being in Bicentennial Park, which is right next to the Heat Arena, and having the Dolphins play at the Orange Bowl and the Hurricanes play at the Orange Bowl, which they tore down to build Marlins ballpark. It's kind of like, I'm like, it would have been so cool to have Marlins ballpark right next to the Heat Arena and the Dolphins still be playing in that area, in that Orange Bowl area with the Hurricanes. It's like you feel so much tradition when you're there, and you're
Well,
like, man,
I love the area because you imagine the
oh,
travel with all that sky rises right
oh
now
no,
with
no, no, it's
60
insane.
floor buildings.
It's insane, man.
It's
It's
crazy
insane.
right now. So at times, I
It's
cannot
insane, bro.
game. It takes you like 2 hours to get out of the Hard Rock State right now.
Oh
And
yeah,
town,
yeah. No, and if you go to a Heat game in downtown, to get out of a Heat game, like let's say you go, that's a cardinal rule in my house. We no longer go to games during the week because you have a game that starts at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and your kids got school in the morning. By the time you get home, it's like 12, 1 in the morning, man. It's insane. It's insane just to get on the highway.
Sounds like
It's
Dodger
crazy.
Stadium.
Oh man.
Sounds like Dodger Stadium. Have fun getting out of that place, and then you're in the middle.
You see that's a game where I would love to see a game there. I was able to see a game, my favorite ballpark, and I fell in love playing a video game. My favorite ballpark is Pittsburgh, PNC Park.
Okay, yeah, it's on my
And
list too.
we oh man, and when I did it on purpose. I went with my wife and my kids, and I'm like, okay, I gotta I gotta get a seat in the upper deck facing the outfield, like facing right field, because I wanted to see the skyline, the famous picture of the skyline, and the sun was setting. It was the most beautiful experience I ever had watching a baseball game.
I don't know if you get that feeling. I know when the sun sets in Miami, you got to face the other way, but we're on the Gulf, so
we're good.
We get a nice sunset here. Also, you got to go to I call it Pac Bell. It's Oracle now.
Yes, Pac Bell Ballpark. Yeah.
But that's if you sit anywhere facing it, it's a beautiful stadium. Petco is unbelievable in San Diego.
The San Diego with a factory. I love the factory in left field.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Not a huge Dodger Stadium guy. I've been there a lot. I'm not really a fan of it. I will say you'll like this one. When the Warriors were in Oakland, when they were leaving, when you leave, they would tell you, take a left, get on the freeway. Don't take a right. If you take a right, you are
you're screwed.
You're done. You're in the middle. You're done.
You're done.
I was like, I was driving to Nashville and I stopped in Little Rock and I was like, oh, the hotel looks nice. I booked one. And don't get me wrong, I played baseball in Compton, California since 8th grade. I went to Compton College. I was like,
wow,
10 white people on campus. I got into the hotel, literally called my dad. I was like, hey, I'm the only white person here. I just don't feel safe. There's like 4 homeless encampments in the parking lot. He was like, I got you. I'm like, I usually don't say it, but I'm like, I got to get out of here. He's like, you put me up right there. I was like, that was the last time. So luckily I had Alex there helping me out. I was like, stay away from Opoko Loco. Stay away from that area. Stay away from
Opaloca, yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, I remember when you said it to me and you see the little house with a price. I'm like, yeah, you see that one that's $79? Yeah, don't go there. You don't want to go there, man.
That's usually no, I don't want to be there.
It's a one-way ticket for you, man. That's a one-way ticket right there.
Not coming back.
Not coming back. Pack up your apartment. Just take it under U-Haul. You ain't coming back, man.
But we do have someone brought up Nicaragua. They are managed by Dusty Baker, but they're a few years away. Netherlands managed by Andrew Jones, but I don't think they have the same firepower as they once had. Do have some good players. Xander Bogaerts, Ozzy Albies still playing because of the Curacao and Aruba is Kingdom in Netherlands, but I think it's 2-team race there. It'll be fun, and it's nice for the city of Miami's got everything staying there. And if a team from the Caribbean is in the final, it's definitely going to be a fun experience. Oh. But I'm with both you guys. I think it's a 2-team race. Any last thoughts before we start wrapping up here? And on any of the brackets. Any last thoughts and feeling? I'm going to hit the last one, the Tokyo brackets, Japan and Korea. There's no reason to talk about it. But any last thoughts about going in, how we feeling, or any pool, how we feeling about the tournament, or just pure excitement like myself?
Pure excitement and finals prediction. Who do you got? Is it USA, Dominican Republic?
I think it's USA, Dominican. I don't think Japan has the same firepower as they had in 2023. But I think I'll be disappointed if USA doesn't make it, and I think Dominican will be disappointed in themselves if they don't because of that firepower. But I think it's baseball. Anything can happen in baseball.
Anything can happen.
It's not like other sports where your natural athletic ability can power you. If your fundamentals are poor, you can get away with it being naturally athletic. In baseball, you have poor fundamentals, it's going to come back and bite you in the butt. So I think Japan's obviously a powerhouse. Venezuela, Puerto Rico, I think it's anybody's shot, but I think it would be a disappointment for both nations if it's not USA, Dominican Republic.
I concur. That's to me is the exciting part of this tournament. Is legit two powerhouses, possibly the two best lineups ever assembled respectfully for their countries. And that's another cool thing. And that's something that we could do, Russ, eventually. If you could put an all-time World Baseball Classic roster for the countries, I'm talking about all time or within your knowledge. Can you imagine in the 90s? Or I know we had the Olympics, but a World Baseball Classic in the 90s, in the heyday of baseball, that would be epic. Just seeing those rosters being built, from Mark McGwire going against Sammy Sosa and Pedro Martinez pitching for Dominican Republic. I'm like, that is something that you live for. Yeah. And you touch on something that I want to say before we end up. Baseball is fun again. Baseball had an age problem a few years ago, and they have found a way to reinvent themselves. I haven't changed anything. Now, the late inning rule is cool. Extra inning rule, like a runner on second, that's a cool concept. It speeds up the game and makes it a high-scoring game, and it's a little bit more competitive. But they really haven't done anything to reinvent themselves. It's just, I feel it's a reinvigorated sport in the youth, and a lot of youth are now playing baseball again. Aside from soccer, because now soccer is the fastest-growing sport in all the United States across the board. Yeah. But it's fun to see baseball again. It was a national pastime. And it's cool to have that rebirth. And all these international tournaments create that atmosphere and kind of gets you going because it throws your country's pride into it. And it just adds on to that. So I'm just happy. I'm excited for baseball to be back.
Sammy, any last thoughts?
Well, I'm going to go with the upset. I'm gonna say that the Dominican Republic is going to win that. Just because of the fact that, I think they're playing for a lot of pride. The way they acted last time, it started to par for the expectations. I think they were waiting for this moment. They're probably the hungriest team. I know United States also has a lot to prove. And, Japan is always ready. But there's something about this team of the Dominican Republic that I think they're built to try to win. I think they're motivated. I think they're going to be trying to make it something personal. And, the fact that they're playing the mainland, it's gonna, actually be beneficial to them. Less travel, all those things. So, I think it's gonna be good for them. I think the Dominican Republic is gonna win probably in the final against the United States. Japan is always a wild card. Japan always has a chance to win. I think Puerto Rico should advance, but I don't have great expectations because of what happened for that team to make it to the finals. Puerto Rico, when they play for pride, when they play inspired, when they, like you said, they have all those Hall of Famers in the bench. The team Rubio, they play for pride, and Puerto Rico has had a last great 12 months, but so they probably had a very good chance to be motivated. But they had the full squad. I would feel much very confident about the chances of pulling an upset. But I think Dominican Republic is the team to win, the team to beat, and I think it's going to be a surprise to many, but not for me because I think that lineup is probably the best lineup of the whole tournament.
Well, I want to thank both you guys for coming on tonight. This was very fun. I want to thank everybody who chimed in. Bobby throwing in the zingers. I back up my man Alex. I think the stash looks good. So,
Thank you, my man. Appreciate it.
Sammy, Alex, is there any where can we find you? What are you doing podcast wise?
Well, I'll go first because mine's is quick. Sammy has a whole long detail. I'm one of the East Century boys. I jump in one of the in a lot of the shows, vice versa sometimes. And it's always a pleasure to coexist and to share these moments with fellow members of FTSN. Bobby has given us a great platform so we could all hang out, and it is true as a friendship because it's a family, and we have connected. Well, you just mentioned it. I know you've missed them every time in your intersections of life, but we have connected people from all over the world, and we build this brotherhood. And sometimes for the most part, we have never met each other in person. And to me, that is the coolest thing here. So, Russ, thank you for having me. I think my thing is AJ_AT. I don't even know what my Twitter handle is, my X handle. But thank you for having me, bro. And off the record, we'll talk way more baseball when I see you here for sure. All right, man.
I'm looking forward to it. Sammy, I know you got a long list of shows you do. You're
Give the credit, Sammy. Give the credit, Sammy.
No, not really. Right now, the off season, things to be off because of off season. We only have one show a month, so we're gonna be probably back on March 17th for the free agency Club Foster Spectacular. The single year because the Dolphins are a mess right now. So more than ever, it's Club Foster Spectacular for free agency for the Dolphins on Fins TV, and of course with my pal, our brother, Bobby and the Bobby Finstock on Thursday on the flagship show of FTSN. Please start today.
What is it? The yeah, right? Right? Is that's the Latin ha 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 ha?
Yeah.
I want to thank both you guys for coming on. You're always welcome. If you want to come on and talk baseball, shoot me a text. You're always welcome to come on. I love having guests. I love having you guys. You just let me know. I'm like, hey, I want to come on, talk some baseball. You're always welcome to come on.
When you talk salary cap, salary floor, and all that, have me on so we can have a discussion.
Oh man,
I'm intrigued by this. I have ideas.
But thank you, Dot. Want to thank everybody tuned in for another episode of On Deck. I'm Russ Morgan here with Sammy and Alex. I hope everybody has a great night.
Peace.